How's it going? I'm Tom Henwood with Mainline Overland. Today we have a Ford Ranger, my personal truck, in the shop. We're going to be putting in RSI SmartCap 5-foot on that. Got the roof for that right here. And I've got the remaining pieces for that located in this big box here. So we're going to go through the assembly of that cap, how you can do it yourself at home or how we can do it here at Mainline Overland at the shop. I've got the items that we need laid out for that. These support brackets, there are 4 of them total. We've got the hardware kit and bulb seal. We also have some additional bulb seal here. And then we have the SmartCap EVO instruction manual. I've also got some parts. I have the 13 mil and 10 mil various size sockets, as well as 10 mil ratcheting flats. And I've got an extension just in case I need it to get in some hard to reach places. They say to have a sharp blade available. Say to have some glue as well, which I don't have in this picture. And you also want to have some kind of scissors or something. My kid scissors should work perfectly. So I'm going to set that up. I've got the bed set up. On this truck, I have the OEM plastic bed rail pieces. I did a Line-X with the UV coating on this guy, so this has a Line-X surface. I'm going to be putting the bulb seal on that. So I'm probably going to prep this with alcohol when I put some stuff on there just to make sure that takes well. So I'm going to go through this instruction setup. You're going to see a time lapse of me assembling this piece, which is the roof. The cool things about this RSI SmartCap is it has a positive pressure vent in here. You can see how that's set up in here. It has like a little brushy piece in here, and then it's a positive pressure piece that you can see on that side. So I used, because we're putting the whole base of this on there, I made sure I used some furniture blankets, laid the plastic down, and kept this foam in here, just because you're going to be putting a lot of weight on this. You don't want to put any impression marks on this. This is made of stainless steel. It is black painted or powder coated. It is a very high quality setup, and we're going to start putting that all together. So first piece coming out of the box is going to be this rear piece. It has an integrated tail light function. We're going to dig that out and then grab the side pieces. We're going to do the 2 canopy door wings first, and then we're going to do the top and the bottom. So we're going to do that in time lapse, keeping it real. I've got my transmission jack that I'm going to use for my time lapse setup, which is kind of cool. So I'm going to set up the camera on this and then go ahead and start assembling the box, and I'll talk to you. Maybe I'll stop in the middle. I'll talk to you a little bit about what I'm doing at the time. All right, enjoy. So I've got the main side pieces installed here. We have these M6 fender washers and nylock nuts that go 5 of 5 a piece along the side of the roof here. So we set that up. Part of the process of fitting in is just getting these tabs here to fit in deeply into the roof. They're the main tab that holds it, embraces it, and then these nylock nuts bolt down. So you want to get it nice and tight. You want to get as flush as you can. Don't worry if you have if you're seeing a little bit of the foam on the edges, but you want to get it nice and tight so it has a nice positive hook-in point in the roof here. So the next setup we're going to do is we're going to work on the front and the rear piece. And the front and the rear piece have these tabs that are located at intervals along the roof, and they need to be sort of sandwiched with these pieces that come in the roof piece. So you can see them on the corners here, and they run all the way down. So on the actual piece, they come with these, there you go. They come with these tabs already put in. So we're gonna remove these, loosen them up, pop them out, and then we're going to use that as the assembly function. So got these guys disassembled here. So it's a little M6 with a stainless backing plate. You can see right here, little M6, and then these pieces of plastic. These are the backers, and then you've got the main plate here, so that's going to pop out, and that's going to be this piece right here. So that's the stuff we're going to work with to install the front and the rear. I'm going to work on this next, and then you'll see how the front and rear come together. Hey, how's it going, guys? So I got the back window on. This is the window that goes through to the cab area. So this is the piece that comes up against the vehicle. You can see how it's kind of scalloped here, sculpted in. This is a little trickier. I put the bolts on this side here, which means you have to bring the other piece through, this plastic piece. And that takes a bit of effort to get the first one or two lined up. Once you get them lined up, I found I actually used the bulb sealer here as a little bit of a shim to help bring these up level with each other so I could get those things to mate. Once I got one on the corners done and then one on the bottom, it was a little bit easier to get the remaining bolts in. Definitely the trickier part of the install, but able to figure out a way to do that. So we're going to put in the rear canopy door now. This is going to be the 5th of 5 pieces that this comes in. We'll get that door on there, and then we'll get ready to put it on. And that's going to happen with a couple of guys because this weighs about 200 pounds when it's all put together. So we're going to have some folks help out. We're going to bulb seal the bed and then make sure this is all sealed up and ready to go, and then we're going to drop it on. All right, so let's get the rear on. So next up on this RSI SmartCap install, we have some bed prep. The Ranger comes with 4 of these reinforcement brackets. They're going to sit this way on the vehicle. We're going to use our OEM tie-down points. There's bolt holes. Slot that guy in there, and that's going to create we can adjust that level to bring this piece up level with the bed for the inner corners of each of the 4 sides of the SmartCap. So we're gonna bring that over here. So that's gonna mount right up to the OEM tie-down bolts, holes, locations in this corner here. So I'm gonna get that put on there. In the front we have 2 more. Got these big beefy guys here. These little corner brackets. So these are going to do the same thing. So they're going to nest in here, but they have a little bump out on the corner of the bracket, where you can see there's a space to have that come back in. So we're going to bolt that in there. We're going to keep it in kind of loose for now until we get the bed fitted up. We want to make sure this is going to be load supporting for the cap. So we're going to get that these tie-down points undone, get these loosely fitted to the point where we can still manipulate them while we're installing. So 4 of these guys going in now, and then next up we'll have the cap being dropped on. We're going to do some bulb sealing on the cap and then drop it on. All right, so we got our rear lift gate on, located in the back here. Got this guy set up. We got our spacers in here as well. Join these two pieces together. And one more thing I've done is I've attached the bulb seal. It's gonna go across the edges, leaving a little bit of room inboard here so that when this squishes down, it doesn't goop out past the edge of the cap. I'm gonna leave this end a little bit loose. As I fit this up, I'm gonna then glue this piece in place to meet the liftgate piece of trim. Same thing on this side, I'm leaving a little bit extra, and then I'm gonna glue that in place once I have my final fit up on that. So, next piece of prep that I've done to the truck. So, we had a pretty good level here as a basis for this. We're gonna sit this down and see how this fits up, because these bolts are gonna bolt directly into the cap. This is gonna be a major source of support for this. Also in the rear, on the Ranger, you got these two pieces here. This is the main, in the instructions, is the main thing that bolts up on there. We may supplement this with some C-clamps as well, but this is gonna be the main thing that keeps this cap on. So, other things I've done here is I've installed the foam spacer. So this is a foam piece of insulation that's going to help keep water from coming inside here, because we do have a pretty good sized lip on the edge here where the edge drops down into the front rail. So we spaced that up. We're going to see how the bulb sealer sits down and sort of fills into that area. We're going to see if we need to do anything supplemental here to fill that in. In the meantime, we're going to get some hands on deck that are going to help lift this guy on. We're going to place it carefully straight down. Probably have 4 people on it, so we can place it straight down on the truck. Make sure that none of our seals are disturbed, and then lower it in there, and then start fitting it up, seeing how everything gets nice and tight as we come and cinch this down. So I have the bed mounted up and torqued. I've got all these torqued to 25 Newton meters. These bolts here, these nylock nuts. These are M8 by 1.25s. Got them up in the corners too. Feels rock solid. You can see our edge has settled down quite a bit in the front and in the rear. So now we've got our lift gate closed. I did the super gluing of this section here to sort of finish that off. Looks really nice. Same thing on this side, brought the curves together. And now I can close up my gate. And I have a good sort of nice tucked in piece here. And then I can close my top. So looking good. Final piece of the puzzle is to install the third brake light wire, which is located here on the cap. We'll get that wired up using a T-tap into our tail light. We'll have to pull the tail light assembly for that piece, and then we'll get the T-tap in there, and then that'll be finished up with the piece. Looking really good. I'm really pleased with it. Looks like it's very well suited to the Ranger. This is the 5-foot EVO RSI SmartCap EVO, the recreational version with the glass windows, and this is for the 5-foot Ford Ranger. Hope you enjoyed watching. Let us know if you have any questions in the comments. We'd be happy to answer them. Thanks.